Dear Taurus, there is a stillness that has finally settled where an earthquake once shook your foundations. You might not have a name for it yet. This quiet solidity that feels both unfamiliar and profoundly relieving. But your soul recognizes it. This is not a moment you have stumbled upon by chance. It is a sacred destination you have earned. A sanctuary your spirit has been building toward across lifetimes of carrying the weight of the world. You are here because an invisible fault line, one created by the chaos and instability of another, has finally sealed itself shut. A gate to a garden you thought was lost has swung open, not with a crash, but with the gentle, grounding sigh of the universe restoring order. Before we step through it together, I invite you to pause, just for a moment. Plant your feet firmly on the ground. Take a breath so deep it reaches the roots of you, the parts that have been holding on for far too long. Allow your heart to unclench, not with naivety, but with the quiet wisdom of a soul that has weathered the storm and chosen, time and time again, to remain standing. What is unfolding now is not merely a story of karmic justice or the departure of a person who brought chaos to your door. That is only the surface tremor. The true event, my beloved Taurus, is the story of your reclamation. It is the narrative of a soul that has served as an anchor in a world of turbulent seas and is now, finally, being called home to its own peaceful shores. This is your homecoming. If you feel this truth resonating within you, this quiet recognition of a profound shift, I invite you to become a part of this sacred space. Take a moment to like this message and subscribe to our community so we may continue this journey together. And if you are ready to claim this new beginning, share this affirmation in the comments below. I am building the life of peace and security that was always mine. By doing so, you are not just typing words, you are sending a signal to the universe that you are ready to receive the stability that is rightfully yours. Stay with me, for the truths we are about to uncover are the keys to the life you have only dared to dream of. Taurus, have you ever felt as though you were born to be the rock for a world that loves to create waves? It is a feeling you have carried in silence, a sacred burden that others often mistake for stubbornness. They see your patience and call it passivity. They see your need for stability and call it boring. They witness your boundless capacity for loyalty and fail to understand that you are not just holding your own ground. You are providing the very foundation that allows others the luxury of their own chaos. You are the first earth sign of the zodiac, the master builder where the lessons of survival, perseverance, and tangible creation converge. You are the universe's living garden, the quiet sanctuary where every seed of a promise is meant to take root and grow. And because of this, you carry a weight that has no name. You have walked into rooms of panicked energy and felt an acute exhaustion, a sense that you speak a language of reason that no one else understands. You have offered a steady hand with a smile while inside. Your own resources were dwindling, silently pleading for someone, just once, to see past your capable surface and ask if you had enough support for yourself. This is the paradox of your existence, dear Taurus. You did not come here to chase fleeting trends. You came to build legacies of beauty and endurance. You did not come to crave drama. You came to offer refuge. But in a world that so often values storms over sanctuaries, your stability has been your greatest trial. You love with a devotion that leaves you vulnerable, trusting with an investment that this world has not yet learned how to honor. And so, you have asked yourself in the dead of night, I work so hard for peace, so why am I so often met with chaos? I give so much stability. So why am I so often left feeling insecure? Here is the truth you must now embrace. A mighty oak must first journey through the darkest soil to grow. Your heart, in all its perceived rigidity, is not breaking. It is fortifying. Every challenge has been forcing your roots deeper, preparing you for a purpose far grander than you ever imagined. You were never meant to be understood by the restless. You were meant to be a haven for the souls who were ready for true peace. And the first soul that needs to feel the depth of your security is your own. Let us speak of the shadow that has just departed. You may have given it a name, a face, the person or situation that threatened your peace. But in truth, it was more than that. It was an energy. It was the embodiment of scarcity and instability, a fractured force that could not bear to witness the effortless abundance and calm that radiates from you. You did nothing to provoke it, Taurus. You simply existed, and your existence was a mirror, reflecting back to that energy all of its own chaos, its own deep-seated lack. They tried to sow seeds of doubt in your garden, to create tremors of anxiety, hoping to convince you that your need for peace was a weakness. They created drama so you would question your own judgment. You felt it, didn't you? That quiet, unsettling feeling of your foundation cracking, a recurring stress you couldn't quite name, a subtle drain on your resources that left you feeling depleted. You were not imagining it. You were sensing the instability long before the walls began to shake. But here is the miracle they never anticipated. You cannot uproot a mountain. You cannot command the earth to stop being solid. They failed, not because you fought back with fire, but because you continued to meet the world with steadfast resolve. Your quiet resilience was a force they could not comprehend. And now, that energy has not just fallen. It has been removed from your field by the very stability it sought to destroy. The karmic debt has been paid. The cosmic scales have been balanced. And the space it once occupied is now a fertile ground, waiting to be filled with the blessings that have been held in waiting for you. This is not a moment for resentment or for recounting the damage. It is a moment for a sacred ceremony, a ritual of replanting. I want you to imagine yourself standing in a quiet, sun-drenched garden at dawn. This garden is your soul. For so long, its soil has been troubled by storms not of its own making. But now, the ground is firm and rich, and in that stillness, for the first time, you can see the perfect, healthy buds on the vines. Those buds, Taurus, are your true self. They have always been there, waiting for the storm to pass. So, what does it mean to walk through your new gate? What is this reward the universe is preparing for you? Do not expect it to arrive with a thunderous announcement or a shower of fleeting prizes. The most profound blessings do not seek to impress you, they seek to secure you. The first reward is a peace that feels tangible. It is the quiet exhale you didn't know you were holding. It is the morning you wake up and the familiar knot of anxiety in your stomach is simply gone. It is a freedom from the relentless uncertainty of the past, the feeling that you are no longer defined by the people who drained you or the instability that shook you. The second reward is the return of your authentic rhythm, without the fear of being judged. For so long, you have rushed your pace to keep up with the frantic energy of others. You have silenced your own need for deliberate, thoughtful action. You have worn masks of indifference to avoid appearing too slow or too careful. The universe is now gently removing those masks. It is clearing paths and dissolving relationships that require you to be anything less than your true, grounded self. If you have felt old friendships or situations falling away recently with a strange sense of ease, do not mourn them. They are making way for what truly resonates with your soul. Astrology speaks of this as a cycle of earthly reward for Taurus. When you have navigated the deep valleys of scarcity, betrayal, and instability, and you emerge still holding a heart capable of building, you enter a period of light convergence. This is not a time for chasing, it is a time for attracting. Saturn, the planet of karma and structure, has shifted, removing the blockages that stood in your path. Venus, your ruling planet, the guardian of value and beauty, is now positioned to protect and guide you. Everything is being rearranged to return to you what has always been yours, but which you had to release in order to grow. Have you noticed the synchronicities? An unexpected financial blessing, however small. The song on the radio that speaks directly to your need for peace. A stranger offering a compliment on something you created. These are not coincidences, dear Taurus. These are the whispers of the universe, affirming that you are on the right path. It is returning to you the fragments of security you so generously gave away, but in a higher, more purified form. The love that returns will not be a test. It will be a sanctuary. The opportunities that arise will not demand that you prove your worth. They will recognize it inherently. Now, I sense a question still lingering in the quietest corner of your heart. It is the thorn you have learned to live with. Why? Why did I have to endure so much instability? Why was I the one who had to be the anchor for so much chaos? Listen closely, as if your soul has been waiting 1,000 years to hear this answer. You were not challenged because you were weak. You were chosen because you were strong enough to be an alchemist. A spiritual alchemist can lead the heaviest, densest of metals and, through a sacred process, transform it into gold. You, Taurus, are a worldly alchemist. You have the unique, divine ability to hold the chaos, the lack, and the instability of this world within your vast heart and transform them, not into bitterness, but into security, beauty, and peace. The souls who brought you chaos were drawn to you because, on a subconscious level, they knew you were the only one who could hold their storm without breaking. You were not their victim. You were their unwitting stabilizer. You absorbed the lessons they were not ready to face themselves. You chose to be dependable when you had every reason to walk away. You chose to build when you had every opportunity for destruction. You chose to live with quiet grace when no one was watching to applaud you. And that, dear soul, is why the universe remembers you. That is why this reward is not just a gift, it is a destiny you have earned. Have you ever looked in the mirror and not recognized the exhaustion in your own eyes? Have you ever smiled for a photograph while your inner world was crumbling? You have doubted yourself, believing that perhaps you were simply not deserving of the peace you craved. Let me whisper this truth to you with all the sincerity of the cosmos. You were never wrong. You were simply a magnificent tree growing in a garden where others had not yet learned how to tend to the soil. You did not come to this life to beg for stability. You came to remind the world of its true nature, that peace is meant to be cultivated, not conquered. There is a guardian who has walked with you through every one of these trials. It may be the spirit of a departed loved one, a guardian angel, or an ancestral guide. They have been with you not in body, but in frequency. Do you recall those moments? A sudden feeling of warmth and safety when you felt utterly alone? a whispered word of encouragement in a dream when the waking world had turned its back, a flicker of light, a strange sense of peace that descended upon you when you were inches from letting everything go. That was them. They held you when you thought you were falling. They reinforced your foundations when you thought they would crumble. They never interfered with your lessons, for they knew the strength you were forging. But they never, ever left your side. They are celebrating with you now, a silent chorus of loving energy, rejoicing in your liberation. If you can recall a strange dream, a repeating sign, or a moment of unexplainable peace, I invite you to share it in the comments. Not for validation, but because the spark of your personal miracle may be the very thing that ignites hope in another soul navigating the same storm you have just passed through. Your soul, Taurus, is like a deep, quiet forest after a cleansing rain. It is not thrashing or screaming for attention, it is simply still. And in that stillness, the entire sky, with all its stars and all its infinite possibility, can be seen through the canopy. I see you standing now, not in a place of chaos, but at the door of a warm, comfortable home that you built. Sunlight streams through the window, illuminating the dust motes dancing in the air. There is no one beside you, and yet, for the first time, you do not feel alone. You place a hand over your heart, not to ask, "What must I do next?" but to whisper with profound gratitude, "Thank you for still being here." And yes, Taurus, you are still here. Not the same version that endured the storm, but a new being, one who has walked through the belly of the beast and emerged with its heart not just intact, but more resilient than before. So let this be your final affirmation. The reward is coming. It is already here, growing within you. It is in the ease of your breath, the gentleness in your own eyes as you look in the mirror, the quiet confidence with which you now walk your path. You don't need to do anything to receive it. You only need to be. Be your authentic, steady, courageous self. If this message has touched that knowing place within you, leave a symbol, a word, or a feeling below. It does not have to be long. It only has to be honest. It only has to be you, so that we know we are all in this sacred space together. From this moment forward, dear Taurus, the most beautiful things are already finding their way back to you. They are not chasing you. They are simply, finally, coming home.